Company. Piper's upcoming August auctions include 691 acres of cropland and grassland in Kitson and Marshall counties in Minnesota, 630 acres of cropland and pastureland in Ward County near Minot, 160 acres of excellent cropland in Wells County, 170 acres of crop, pasture, and development land in Grand Forks County, and the Blana Equipment Auction near Carrington, North Dakota. View these auctions and many more land and equipment auctions at pipers.com.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. It's 106 right now. Current check on the weather outside. We've got temperatures near 80 degrees, mainly cloudy and windy. At gusts of 26 out of the southwest right now. We'll be touching on that forecast here in just a moment. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and the one and only amazing, very talented Ag Director Bridgette Readel. And it's that time of the day, folks, to play our favorite game. Where is Bridgette now?
Yeah.
Today, right now, I am in Jamestown, North Dakota. I have spent the morning out on a field near Eccleston. So I switched things up. That's a background of cars instead of yesterday's background of trees and grass.
Looks like a supermarket.
This was the little Jamestown Mall, currently undergoing some renovation, it looks like. But
cool.
A mall would have been my second guess.
It has a parking lot with good Wi-Fi, so I thought this was a safe spot for now.
Good deal.
There we are.
So Bridgette, I want to throw something your way here. I want your 2 cents.
Can't hardly wait.
I want your 2 cents on it. So we all know what yesterday was, right?
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. Now John said if he saw 5 chemtrails, that usually means rain the following day. You know what's on radar?
Ping pong balls.
There is rain to our north moving towards the FM area. So I'm guessing that John saw that 5th chemtrail. Sorry.
Or could we say that there's actually just was a potential for rain in the forecast building along the Canadian border this morning?
We could go with that.
That's a good thought process.
That's a good theory.
Right there, Bridgette.
That's a good theory.
Like the idea. But you don't think that John's just looking at the our website WDAYradionow.com and sees that little slight % chance of rain?
Think so?
And then he's like, it's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain tomorrow. The website said so.
Yeah.
Sure, that could be it. But I did have a message.
A week in advance.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
But Dean, I did have a message that I sent to you this morning, and that was
a fun one.
That was a fun one. This was from a fellow on Twitter. He wanted to know. He said the black woolly must be the black woolly caterpillar worm he was talking about. Mm-hmm. Yep, and a persimmon seed weather prediction theory. Are there any weather theories out there about an abnormally large black cricket count? I've never seen them this bad before.
And
they get some reptiles out there, like bearded dragons.
You can use crickets to tell what the temperature is outside, depending on the number of chirps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in terms of other than temperature, I mean, I don't think there's any correlation. And you thought it might have been because maybe drought conditions.
So if I go back to like 1988 and 1989. In severe drought at that time, we saw a huge population of crickets. That was kind of like the new game in town, right? Step outside, step on all the crickets and grasshoppers. But I don't know that they are an indication of rainfall or anything like that. And this listener also, or this Twitter follower, if I remember right, I think he's in Arkansas. He is not in this state.
Interesting.
One second.
And he said there was an abundance of crickets, you said, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that correlating with with anything, but could do a little research on that.
Yeah, I'm doing,
we could, and it might just be the dry conditions we're in. Crickets tend to favor them, much like grasshoppers.
I was just going to say,
right?
kind of like grasshoppers. I mean, I was out on the trail yesterday on my bike.
What kind of trail were you on?
A bike trail.
Not like a
and
bear trail?
This huge. And
Rabbit
this
trail?
thing was huge.
Deer trail?
It was a grasshopper. And that son of a gun hopped right into my mouth.
Oh,
It was.
Shut up.
It
No,
was,
it didn't.
It was nasty.
Was it crunchy?
I don't know how I didn't wreck. I don't know how I didn't wreck my bike. I turned my head to the side and spit that sucker out. This thing, it was huge. Yeah, man. So I figured maybe the rain that we had recently it would kind of decrease that.
You know what that
population of
grasshopper was thinking before it jumped in your mouth?
What?
Just gonna send it.
That's actually a real possibility. The grasshopper's like, fine, I'll take this one. No problem.
No, I'll take one for the team. Keep these people off our trails.
If it was chocolate covered, I might have ate it, but it wasn't.
And what does the grasshopper taste like? They say they're pretty good.
It's supposed to be high in protein.
And crunchy, like peanut butter.
I spit that sucker out as fast as he flew into my mouth, man.
You ever have
okay,
I got one for the listeners out there first, B. If you want to call in 701-293-9000, nastiest thing that's flown into your mouth, whether it was like a bee, a spider, something nasty, just if you want to share, feel free to do so.
Okay, and also with that whole grasshopper, spider, fly type of thing, just remember there's a comedian out there who does a whole dig on how the animal kingdom is trying to kill us. Like fish jump in your boat and try to get you, snakes chase you down, and now there's grasshoppers trying to choke Dean Wysocki.
Yeah, right.
That can happen.
I can totally take a dig at you, right?
Leave it, buddy.
All right.
Oh, we've got a caller on line one.
Yeah, we got a couple of callers here.
Okay.
We got two open lines right now. If you want to call in 701-293-9000, we're gonna head over to John first. John, welcome to the show. What's your update on the old chance of rain?
Well, and when Dean was talking about the grasshopper, that's why a good motorcyclist always has a piece of chocolate in his mouth at the ready.
Good point. Very good
John,
point.
you sound like this has happened to you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me a story.
Actually, about the same thing. Actually, I think it was one of those flying grasshoppers.
That's just nasty.
But in other countries they're delicacy.
Yeah, that's what
all I'm
I've
saying.
heard.
Mm-hmm.
Same with.
I just want to know why you.
Actually, Justin. We're going to do a new forecast with Justin's beard involved here.
What beard?
Yeah, soybean aphids. Since we figured out that your beard is the equivalent of a 767 in terms of transport, what I need you to do at the end of the day is shake your beard onto a white piece of paper, count the number of aphids.
Oh, those ain't aphids in there.
No, that's a spider mite.
Yeah, that's lice.
Yeah, spider mites,
Here, Dean.
Yeah.
Here.
Could be corn spiders too.
No.
See there, I knew that would get you. But anyways, you take that number, multiply it by 3, and divide it by the circumference of a lawnmower blade.
Okay. The blade or the radius it spins in?
The radius it spins in.
Okay.
And then divide that number by 3, and that'll tell you what time it's going to rain.
Sounds good, man. I'll put you to it tomorrow. How about that? I'll get to run some numbers after the show.
Yeah, give me a spider mite count at the end of the day, would you?
Sounds good, John. Will do. Hey, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Let's head over to Jerry now. I got 2 other open lines, 701-293-9000. You want to tell us a story about something nasty flying in your mouth before we start talking about weather and ag stuff. Jerry, welcome to the show. What kind of comment story you got?
Well, when I was younger, we had a giant Siberian Husky Norwegian Elk-Hound mixed dog.
Wow.
So it was a big puppy. And every year we had to clean up his dog poop in the spring. Well, one time we got started while it was still a little frozen and chipping away at the ice.
Oh.
Yeah. filled up a 50-gallon barrel and a 35-gallon barrel of mixture of ice and dog poop, and you work up a sweat. You're breathing through your mouth, and next thing you know, you got to, I think I'd rather have a fly or a spider.
I'd rather have the grasshopper.
Oh man, I'd rather have the grasshopper too. A bunch of dog doo-doo in your mouth.
Oh man.
Jeez, Jerry, I think you win.
I don't think anything's topping that.
Well, I mean, I've been like splashed with cow manure, or I had a hydraulic line blow on a tractor once and blew hydraulic oil all over me. But Jerry's winning. That's a good one.
Oh man, hey Jerry, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Oh, that's just. I thought they were maybe going to start having like snowball fights or something with the.
Nope, it got worse.
Oh, man. Well, coming up on the show, we got a break coming up, so let me just tease what the rest of the show is going to look like. We got a few topics we'll get to, including some components to stop combine fires, some combine weed seed destroyers, and get this might be the coolest thing I think that we may have ever talked about on the show.
What's that?
If we have time about talking about it. Laser beam scarecrows.
Well, they sound really cool, but it's not like you're putting CP3. No, what's his name on Star Wars?
C3PO.
C3PO. That guy, the tall gold guy from Star Wars. Yeah, not a movie person here.
Hey, as long as it's not the clones, then they'll probably be doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, you're not going to have like a robot out there, but this is something that only sort of works because blackbirds, well, they're rather smart, and so are cattle, which leads us to our guest today. That'll be Max Cassette. He's with 701X right here in Fargo. Looking forward to visiting with Max because I think he's got a pretty cool way to keep your cows in the fence or find out where they are. Or maybe we just better have Max explain what it is that he does at 701X. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm all about the cows and looking forward to hearing what he has to say. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
It's big game, James McCarty, and high school football is back. Tune in to AM 970 or FM 93.1 WDAY Radio Friday night for a showdown under the lights. The West Fargo Horace Hawks are hosting the Fargo North Spartans. The Hawks are in search of their first varsity football victory in program history, while the Spartans begin their attempt to return to the Dakota Bowl this fall. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. on Friday night right here on WDAY Radio.
You can enjoy Jay's Smokin' Barbecue at Tailgaters. What a combo.
That's right. Whether you are inside or out on the patio enjoying great weather and an ice-cold beverage, you can get Jay's Smokin' Barbecue to eat.
Tailgaters is featuring carbless handcrafted vodka cocktails, and domestic pounders are also on special.
So go enjoy the Tailgaters patio and live music outside on Thursday night at 6:30.
This week, the band Karma will be playing at Tailgaters, corner of Main and University in downtown Fargo.
Your wellness is within reach with Hot Spring Spas and pool tables too. Enjoy every day made better with a Hot Spring Spa, in stock and ready to deliver today. For less than $99 per month, you can be physically better below the water, mentally better above the water, and relationally better beyond the water. Stop thinking about it and just do it. You'll be glad you did. Already have a hot tub? Trade up to a new saltwater hot tub and receive an extra $1,500. Wellness, every day made better. Hot Spring Spas and pool tables too. West Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. #, 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
Looking for more than just a job? How would you like to start and grow with a company that is family-oriented and offers great pay and benefits and room to grow your career? Plains Grain and Agronomy has immediate positions available for a precision ag service technician, general laborer, custom applicator, and a Class A truck driver at their locations in Enderlin, Marion, and Mott, North Dakota. Plains Grain and Agronomy looks forward to visiting with you. Apply online at plainsgrain.com. Ripley's in Earhart has a great job opportunity for you. Ripley's is now hiring directional drill operators, backhoe operators, and plow operators. Your career opportunity is waiting in the utility construction, directional boring, fiber optic splicing, and fiber to the home industry. Apply online at ripleys-inc.com or call Ripley's for an immediate interview. 218-842-5322.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. Right now, you can save nearly $8,000 on a new Chevy Silverado 1500. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
There's one question I ask those who suffer from chronic lower back pain. If you could feel better than you do, would you be interested? I'm Dr. Chad Zimmerman from the clinic in West Fargo. If you have chronic lower back pain and what you're doing isn't working, we have a 96% success rate with bad backs. Why? Because we're one of the few clinics in the state with advanced lumbar decompression therapy. Just one of hundreds of clients we've successfully treated. Here's Sherry.
There were times when I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, couldn't work out in my garden with my flowers, couldn't water ski at the lake. Had a hard time just bending over to pick up anything off the floor. I can walk without pain. I mean, I feel like I want to dance all the time. I have been shoveling snow. I run my snowblower, and I again can play and walk with my German Shepherd puppy.
If you have chronic lower back pain and want to feel better than you do, give us a call at 701-492-0696 or find us at theclinicnow.com. That's theclinicnow.com. Give us a call or send us a message and let them know Dr. Z sent you.
Hello and welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Ag Director Bridgette Readel, joined by Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Meteorologist Justin Storm. We hope you're here every day and join us frequently. And in case you have missed it, we are custom farming 20 acres of soybeans in our project called Here We Grow. And thank you to Dakota Bank. They are one of our sponsors. They also have Dakota Insurance. They are an independent agency that can help you find the right coverage and right carrier for your personal or business insurance needs. Talk to Dakota Bank. They are a new location right here in Fargo. And then also North Dakota Estate Services. Justin and I spent some time with Mark Wagner from North Dakota Estate Services and realized how much we don't know about passing things along the right way. So thanks to Mark. Mm-hmm. We had a lot to learn. And we have a guest today. That is Max Cassette. Max is with us from 701X right in Fargo. And all right, Dean and Justin, have I alluded to it enough? What does 701X have to do with? Any thoughts? Know where it's going?
I'm going to take a wild stab at this, and I'm just going to go out there and say it has something to do with GPS ear tags.
Well, we're about to find out.
I think
Max,
you're right on.
Hey, am I?
How about we let Max tell us what it is that he does with 701X?
Yeah, you are correct. We are known for our GPS ear tags for cattle. We've also got a software platform for all the record keeping and management of your cattle operation. And then we've just released our water tank sensor and base station. So it's a remote water tank sensor that connects over cellular networks and gives you alerts if your water's getting too low, if your float breaks and your water's overflowing, or if the temperature of your water's too hot or too cold.
Interesting.
Now Max, what's the benefit of your ear tag, the GPS ear tag, compared to just your general ear tag that you would put on cattle?
Yeah, so our ear tag does a lot of different things. It's a GPS ear tag, so it takes a GPS position of where the animal's at every 15 minutes. You record your geo fence on our software application of where your actual fences are, and then if the animal goes outside the fence, it sends an alert right away saying, hey, this animal's out of the fence, go put it back in, basically. There's also some other alerts that we have on there, like a high-speed alert, so if the animal's going over 30 miles an hour, we know a cow can't run that fast. So
That is the fastest cow.
Yeah,
you got something chasing that cow over there.
There must be a tornado out in the field.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other cool things. So we actually track all the footstep and the activity, the movement activity of the animal, and if their activity starts to deviate over time. So if there's high activity alerts and low activity alerts. So if the animal starts to get slow, weak, we actually saved 2 animals at the 71X Test Ranch out in Grassy Butte this year. They got like a walking pneumonia over the winter, and we actually were able to find those animals. We picked up the sickness early enough on and gave them some antibiotics and treated them. And then probably our coolest, newest release on that Pro Tag is our bull mounting feature. So we actually record how many mounts a bull has, and you can detect which bulls are the most productive in your herd and which ones are, not doing the job.
Wow.
Word.
Okay, so for anybody who's watching on the live stream, the looks on everybody's faces here was pretty priceless. I hope we screenshot that and use that from now on. But okay, so do you have a picture of your tag or one of your tags, Max? How does it look different than any other ear tag that's out there?
Yeah, I do have a picture. I don't know how to show it to you right now, I guess, but it's
okay.
On the front of it is a solar panel, so basically it recharges itself, so you don't have to go out there and change batteries or anything. It's a big clear enclosure, so you can see like all the electronics inside of it. It doesn't really look anything like a normal ear tag, but it attaches just like a normal ear tag, except most people put like the visual tag number on the front side of an animal's ear. This actually attaches on the back side of the ear because you get better solar charging on the back side, and then the hair doesn't get in the way of the animal's ear.
That's
so
cool
can you still
design.
put a tag on with the number so that you can still have that visual number of a tag?
Yep, you'll still record the visual cattle tag number, and then you actually assign that with our GPS ear tag on our software platform. So when you go out to the pasture, you can see, okay, number 143, and then the tag is associated with that same animal.
And Max, how long has this product been on the market, and how is it being received?
We just released the Pro Tag in May of last year. So it's been out on the market for a little over a year. People really love it, love the idea, and they're happy with all the new features we've been bringing out, like the bull mounting. But the biggest value add people have been seeing with it is putting it on their bulls, because they're the animals that get out the most. If they're not with your cow herd, they're not breeding your cows. Every cow you don't get bred basically is $1,000 to $1,500 calf that you're not getting, and the price of these tags is a lot cheaper than that.
Wow. Nobody likes a lazy bull.
Yeah, I guess not.
Well, but if your bull's out wandering the neighborhood, how are you going to get all that calf support back when he's in the wrong pen with the wrong cows? I mean, you got to keep track of these things, you guys.
Well, yeah.
Good point.
Talk about the cow herd would probably start getting a little upset at the bull for visiting the neighbors.
You're right.
Right.
Hey,
I'd say it's funny. Like, we got a test ranch in Grassy Butte. You know when the neighbors' cows are in your herd, but you don't know when your cows are gone. So that's a weird issue.
Hey, if you got any questions for Max, you want to give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. We get you queued up. We got 3 open lines right now, 701-293-9000. Going to bring in Al to the show. Al, thanks for calling. Where are you calling from? What's your question for Max?
Green Bay. So how long do the batteries last, and do they use cell towers?
With the Pro Tag, we have a solar panel on the front, so it recharges itself. So the expected life, the life expectancy of the tag is about 3 to 5 years. We also have a light tag where that's just Bluetooth connected. So basically you can put a light tag on like the calf and the Pro Tag on a mama, and it'll show relative GPS positions when that mom's near the calf. And the battery life of the light tag is 3 years.
Oh, pretty good.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling, Al. Really appreciate it. And go ahead, Bridgette.
Quick question, Max. What happens when the cow runs out of Wi-Fi? I mean, if she can't get that signal back,
that's a bad mom.
Is that possible?
Yeah, so the tags are over cellular networks. So, like if you're in an area where there's no reception, the tag will actually store all the data on the tag, and then once it gets into an area of reception, it'll send that data off. Or if there's an alert, so say that animal has a low activity alert or a no movement alert where basically the animal died and it's in an area of no cell reception, as other tags get near that animal, they will actually pick up the alert and transmit that alert saying, hey, my tag's 163, but I see you 127 over there has a no movement alert. I'm going to send that up and give a GPS position of where that was at.
Wow, that's really interesting. And what do these tags run, if you don't mind me asking, for the Pro and Light version of these tags?
Yep, so the Pro tag is $83 for the tag, and it's $42 annually for the cell data plan. So year one is $125. Every year after is $42. And then the Light tag has that 3-year battery life. That one is $17.50. But kind of the cost justification that we see, like at the 7-1X Ranch, we've got 6 bulls there. So year one's about $750. Well, if we can get one more calf pregnant by keeping that bull with the cow herd, it justifies the whole system right there. And like I said, we saved 2 cows this winter as well by using these Pro tags. So that's $2,500 animals that we were saving there as well. So the costs kind of add up pretty quickly, especially the bulls are usually the ones you have the biggest problems with. They get foot rot, go hide in trees and stuff.
Right.
But so by solving some breeding problems and basically not losing your bulls, that's where we see the biggest value add with those Pro tags.
It's cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
I thought so too.
I guess you think about it, you probably want to keep it down if you have 1,000 head of cattle or more. I mean, these start adding up, but not in ranching, but I don't think that that's an absurd amount of money for those. Hey, before we hit break, Max, I just want to ask, mainly because I'm curious, and I was watching a show about cow abductions the other night. You ever have any cases, someone calling you, being like, hey, what's going on? My GPS says my cow's 1,000 feet up in the air and traveling at 200 miles an hour. Anything like that? Weird?
We haven't had anything like that, no. But
not yet.
Funny story, we've actually got one of our sales reps at Dakota Fest down in South Dakota right now, and while he was giving a presentation, someone stole the tag off of his table, his booth there, and we found the house that they're at right now.
Oh, awesome!
Got to get our tag back.
And did you go to the house?
We haven't gone to the house. It's a couple hundred miles away, but we know where they're at, so we're messaging them, trying to get our tag.
Wow,
well, you're about
awesome.
to get a hello. How you doing? Knock. That is great. Well, hey, I got 4 open lines right now. If you got any questions on this, we're talking about GPS ear tags with Matt Cassette from 107X here in Fargo. 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. Again, that's 701-293-9000. We're going to take a short moment here. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll get the rest of our questions answered, and of course yours, if you may have any.
Welcome to Inside the Huddle for a Vikings training camp update. We're updating you on the Vikings all preseason long, bringing you up to week 1 when the Vikings host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These updates are brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Fargo. Defensive coordinator Brian Flores gave his thoughts on the impact of the veteran leadership from Byron Murphy in the corners room.
I think he's a very smart player, got position flex. It affects the room in a positive way, I would say. It allows for us to have a guy who can communicate and play in a few different spots. So, for us as a staff, there's confidence knowing, hey, we can put Byron here, we'll get the job done. He puts him here, we'll get the job done. We put him in this situation with this player, he might be able to help him out. There's a myriad of ways that he's had a positive effect on our team. Plus, he's a good athlete, and he does a lot of things, good things, physically, speed, quickness, technique. But yeah, we're excited and happy to have him for sure. He's certainly taken on a leadership role with that group. He, Harry, Metellus, Bynum, that group of guys is really, as a group, obviously with Harry being, the most senior of that group. They've all taken on a leadership role, and I think the young guys are listening and they are learning how to be professionals.
This has been a look inside the huddle of Vikings training camp. These updates are brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Fargo, where you can do more in a jiffy.
It's summer in a big way, so go big at Mall of America. Your summer adventure is on with a stay at Radisson Blu Mall of America, conveniently connected to the mall. Swim a little, spa a little, shop up to 500 stores, enjoy every kind of dining, and so much more. Nickelodeon Universe has live Paw Patrol shows. Then get creative with the youngest ones at Crayola Experience. So you can go big just by going to Mall of America. mallofamerica.com/summer.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You don't have to live in Britain to get what the New York Times calls the best of British telly. Stream the UK's most brilliant series only on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites including Vera and Stonehouse, starring Succession's Matthew McFadden. Plus, don't miss upcoming original dramas like Archie, the story of Hollywood's greatest leading man, Cary Grant. Lose yourself in Britain's best entertainment, only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
Hey, welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. It's 1:37. Outside, it's mainly cloudy right now. Winds out of the southwest at 14 miles an hour. 81 degrees is your current temperature. We'll be checking that forecast here coming on after our next break in our last segment. But we're visiting right now with Max Cassette from 107X, talking about GPS ear tags. They're kind of interesting little pieces of equipment. And you want to ask a question, I got open lines right now. 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. And Max, before we went to break, I just threw a random question out at you. If you've ever had anyone send any, like, hey, my cow's 1,000 feet in the air, or in the air, the GPS says it's moving at like Mach 2 or something, any paranormal activity with this. But it was just brought me back to a thought that, have you ever seen that show, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch? It's on the History Channel.
I have not. I've heard some about it, though.
So there's this ranch in Utah, and they got weird stuff that happens, and there's like cattle mutilations, and sometimes the cattle go completely missing, like UFO kind of stuff. Abducted. It's kind of an abnormally a large amount of these claims that are coming from out that area. Well, they got this TV show on it, and I don't know how much of it's actually real or not. I was just wondering if you'd ever thought about maybe trying to get in contact with a group like that to throw these GPS trackers on these cattle, so if the cattle ever do go missing, they have a little background data on where it's being located at, or where this animal went to, how long it was missing, or something like that. So I think that could be some use there. I'd love to see the
data on that animal going 2,000 feet in the air. That'd be incredible.
Yeah, that would be very
one of our goals here is we'd like to get on Yellowstone.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, but if you're going to do that, could you not be on the 1883 version where they had the plastic ear tag in one of the scenes when it was supposed to be 100 years before ear tags were used? Okay. Max, I do have a question about those ear tags as well. How do they fasten on? Because do they look like a traditional ear tag, kind of that shape, or and most ear tags, it's almost like you pinch them on like an earring. How do they attach to the animal?
Yep. It's the same process. The Pro Tag can be applicated with that standard ear tagger. It's just got that pin button back, basically. The light tag, we've actually made our own applicator. It's got kind of a cup on the applicator, and it's got the pin goes through the opposite direction, basically. But it's the same attachment method, same form that all the other ranchers would use with their current tags. One thing I did want to mention, we had that price comment earlier. And what we tried to do to get the price, more justifiable for the whole herd is by coming out with our light tag that just said Bluetooth. So we say you can have 1 pro tag for every 10 light tags in your operation. That's kind of how that works.
There you go. Got a email question here for you, Max. Just a listener wondering if, let's see, has the wrong info ever been put onto the tags, like 2 cows info get accidentally swapped on the tags that you put on them? And if so, is it easy to correct that mistake?
Holy cow, identity theft on a cow. Wow,
Exactly.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, so if you were to label, one animal is 156 and the other one is 157, or vice versa, and then you realized it, you just go into the app, you click on that animal, edit it, change the visual tag number on there, and there's no issues. And then it'll show us a record on that animal that, hey, this got changed, so that this happened previously. But, it's super quick and simple to change that sort of thing. And our app kind of works as a digital calving book. So instead of going out there with your pen and paper and taking all your notes, you just use your phone app nowadays, and it works offline. So all those ranchers out in rural areas, it works for them. They go back online. Everyone in the operation syncs back up and sees all the new data that's been inputted.
Okay. Can we talk about the water tank monitoring as well? When you said low tanks, water temperature, that type of thing. Does it also manage anything with water quality, or it's giving you an idea what's going on, just basically the physical properties of that water tank? Would that be fair to say?
Yep, it doesn't do water quality. Like I said, it does a low level alert. So basically, you measure your diameter of the tank and how deep it is, and then you set that in our app. And then if it goes, you set your low water level, and if it goes below that level, it sends an alert right to your phone immediately. And then you set a high water level as well. So, basically if your flow was to break or something, so you don't have water overflowing. And then you can set a low and high temperature alert. Some people down south have been telling us, if my water gets over 85 degrees, I don't want my cattle drinking it. So there's a high temperature alert. And then obviously a lot of people get concerned in the winter about their water freezing. So we can alert them before that happens.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Max, tell me a little bit more about the app. What else is available on this app, and what more can you do with it?
Yeah, so it's a complete data management tool. Basically, all your records that you put in with your animal can be stored in the app, and you have like a complete traceability record, everything that's gone on from weights of the animals to vaccines, medicines. Like I said, it kind of works as a digital calving book. So instead of going out there with your pen and paper during calving season, every time you drop a new calf, you can add a new animal associated with the dam. There's a working cattle mode. So when you're chute side, you can quick and easily enter what you're doing to the animals and update their records. And unlimited users on the app. So basically, you sign up your company, everyone that's under your company can be on the app and see all the new changes and everything, different permission levels. So if there's a finance person, you can do just read only, stuff like that. And then there's seed stock operators as well. They kind of collect a lot more data. They collect different data for EPDs, performance data. So you can type in all your performance data on our app as well and see your EPDs of your animal.
Now, Max, you said the GPS tagging system was it's about a year old or so. How long have you guys been in operation? Are you a fairly new startup, or how long have you been around?
Yeah, about 3.5 years. So I was the first employee here in March of 2020. So right in the heart of COVID, we started up and found some good engineers and kind of took off from there.
That's awesome.
Kevin Biffert, the CEO, he had the idea of GPS tracking cattle. We wanted to alert people when they get outside the fence. Then we kind of realized we need an app to display all this as well. So we have both kind of an electronics engineering team here and a software engineering team. And our service and everything is done in-house. So if you call here, you've got an issue with your tags or the software, our sales teams brings it up to the engineers right away, and we try and solve the problem as soon as possible.
That's super cool.
So when you're in front of a group of ranchers, what's the most common question that they're asking you? I mean, we're all busy sending questions to each other and asking all the background stuff as we interview you, Max, but what if farmers and ranchers really want to ask you when you see them in person?
Yeah, so they always ask for the future features, could you do this? Could you do this? And it's yes, we're working on it. It's like, but they really like the current features too. So the GPS, getting outside the fence, they really like that. Now that we just came out with a basic health alert of low activity, that's been gaining a lot of traction. The bull mounting has been probably the most talked about feature lately, I would say.
What's the biggest add-on that the ranchers want going forward?
Estrus detection and calving detection. So they want to know when is my animal in heat, when can I optimally breed it, and when is that calf coming out? Because I need to be out there as that thing's coming out.
Here's a question
Absolutely.
for you. How do you go about that? Is it would it be like a temperature setting in the ear tag that if the body temperature rises or lowers to a certain point, that's how you determine if they're going into heat or calving?
So we monitor all the movement of the animal, so we can tell if that animal's eating, ruminating, walking around, or resting. And deviations in those 4 behaviors will kind of alert us, letting us know that, hey, this animal's starting to go into its heat cycle, or, hey, this animal's looking like it's starting to calve.
That's wild.
Okay.
Wild.
Wow.
So, Max, I was on one of our earlier morning shows today talking about the fact we were going to have you on air today. And I was envisioning that you would do something a little bit like the dog fences that people bury in their yard so the cow can't cross that to get out. It would kind of, keep them inside. So I guess since that's not exactly what you do, that probably means that if I'm being chased by a bull and I run across that invisible fence, it won't just stop the bull, right? I should still keep running for my life.
Zigzag.
Is that it?
No, we don't shock the bull or anything like that with our tag. Basically, you go on our app or on the website and you create a geo fence, which is you're just plotting points of where your current fence is. So then if the animal goes outside that area that you want them to stay inside of, it'll send you an alert right away.
Cool. Well, Max, if I'll go ahead, Bridgette.
I was going to say I'm not an Olympic sprinter unless I have been chased by a beef animal or a dairy cow, and then I can beat Usain Bolt if I have to. It's amazing.
Serpentine, zigzags. Or is that maybe that's alligators.
Could be.
Might be the alligator. Max, if someone listening wants to get a little more information about these GPS ear tags, or maybe they want to set up an order or something like that, where could they go to get that information?
Yeah, 701x.com. And then we have a phone line, 844-444-7019.
I was low-key really hoping you were going to just keep saying 4s. 444-444-444.
The last 4 digits are 701X. So
701X. There you go. Well, Max, thanks very much for taking some time out of your day to visit with us, share some information on these GPS ear tags, and hope all goes well in the future and this kind of becomes a little more widely adopted.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate the time.
Not a problem
Thanks,
at
Max.
all. Well, we got a check on the American Ag Network coming up next, and when we come back, got a check on the forecast. We get to talk about our laser beam scarecrows. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You can enjoy Jay's Smokin' Barbecue at Tailgaters. What a combo.
That's right. Whether you are inside or out on the patio enjoying great weather and an ice-cold beverage, you can get Jay's Smokin' Barbecue to eat.
Tailgaters is featuring carbless handcrafted vodka cocktails, and domestic pounders are also on special.
So go enjoy the Tailgaters patio and live music outside on Thursday night at 6:30.
This week, the band Karma will be playing at Tailgaters, corner of Main and University in downtown Fargo.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. Right now, you can save nearly $8,000 on a new Chevy Silverado 1500. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Grain markets higher on Wednesday. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this market update. We're joined now by Arlen Suderman of StoneX for market analysis. Arlen, grain markets trading their way higher, led by soybeans here today, looking like that hot, dry weather forecast, the main culprit here, giving us some reason to move this market higher on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Soybeans continuing in the sideways trading range that they've been in for the past week plus or so, holding that range in a time when corn and wheat had seen a lot of downside pressure. And now that corn and wheat are seeing some upside movement in prices, that's allowing soybeans to trade back up to the top of their recent trading range. And the hot, dry weather in the Midwest going forward to finish off the month of August is certainly providing some support. We're also seeing some support for corn and wheat this morning from new tensions in the Black Sea region, with Russia once again attacking Ukrainian ports overnight, trying to put in effect basically a de facto blockade of Ukraine being able to export through the Black Sea.
Over in livestock, fairly quiet, mixed action there. Not as robust of a recovery as we're seeing in grains. Any thoughts on the proteins today?
Yeah, the higher corn prices certainly putting a damper on demand for feeder cattle, but the live cattle futures is pretty well mixed at this hour. Been a quiet day across the board in many of the markets, and that's true in the protein complex as well. We have seen some cattle move at about 179 in the south, which is really surprising in the fact that, yes, it is down $1 from the previous week, but it's a little bit early for this week because we've mostly in recent weeks been waiting until the end of the week to see cash cattle trade, and so it's a little bit earlier than what we've seen of late, and we'll see how the rest of the trade gets established.
That's Arlen Suderman of StoneX on the American Ag Network.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus 152 on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for rejoining us. I got fun things coming up on the program still, including a check on that forecast and, of course, the ag topics that we're going to try to get to. We're for sure hitting a laser scarecrow, but we'll also touch on a little bit about combines and some components to stop fires and some weed seed destroying machines. I don't know why you'd want to destroy the weed seeds, but...
This laser scarecrow
Yeah,
stuff.
let's hear about the laser scarecrow.
This sounds like something that Justin would make up, Bridgette.
Pew, pew.
This does
well,
not...
okay. So it doesn't look like the scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz hanging out there with beady red eyes.
And they're not the
beams.
laser rifles from Star Wars?
Nope, not those either. I looked. They look more like a game cam on a 4x4 post that their job is to sweep green laser dots and beams across a field to try to spook blackbirds out of sunflower fields. And this is going on over at the Grand Farm west of Castleton on a sunflower field. KWH seed. Wait, KWS. I better look. They're the ones doing this. Well, we had 701X out earlier, but this is KWS. And we have actually had one of their plant breeders, Dwayne Bernhardtson, on because these guys are the folks that put the Roundup Ready gene in sugar beets. Well, they realized that birds were a problem for a lot of their sunflower customers too, and they thought this laser would help to keep blackbirds out of sunflowers. Problem is, blackbirds are fairly smart, and they've sort of learned to ignore the laser beams. It's the same concept that when people put boomer cannons on the edges of field that were supposed to go off on a timer every so often and do a big loud boom to scare blackbirds out of sunflower fields.
And they're like, yeah.
Then the blackbirds just got used to it, and they're like, oh look, that thing went off again. I'm just gonna keep eating over here.
You know what they should do to control all this if it ain't working? They should just throw a bunch of windmills up.
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. It's like a graveyard for birds. And they say the noise.
Well, it is a bit of a digital deterrent. There are some airports that are trying to use something like this in order to keep birds away from airplanes, but it's maybe not quite perfect yet because blackbirds in particular don't get too frightened by it. But it might be effective with like Canadian geese that like to go into fields and eat really nice young seedlings in the ground. In fact, they'll go to a corn plant and just pull out the center leaves and eat those, and then the rest of the plant dies. That's a bad thing.
So it sounded like they're going to have to hook up a little more electricity to this laser system and maybe throw one of those Amazon camera object detecting softwares from Tesla. And, not like shoot a laser at the bee or at the birds, but, enough to give it like a little static shock so it flies away.
Might be able to give them a little bit more of a scare if they try.
R&D right there, research and development.
That's right, research and development
How
going
do we
on.
shock a bird without cooking it?
Well, one of those other research and development ideas is there's a weed, basically a weed smasher attachment that you can put on your combine.
Why would you want to do that?
80% of Australians are doing it in order to destroy resistant weed seeds that might be coming in as you're combining your crop, and they don't want those seeds going out the back end of the combine and then growing and producing more viable resistant seed. And so the Research Center for NDSU's extension at Carrington, they have one of these, and it was built by a Canadian company. They're experimenting with it right now to see how many of the seeds, they're thinking about 98% of the weed seeds get smashed because the way this thing spins is it's grinding at about 3,000 revolutions a minute. And so it is doing a fine job of smashing up anything that's left in the chaff as it goes out through the straw choppers on the back of the combine.
I got
kind of a neat concept there too.
Feeling that that's not going to take off very fast over in Minnesota.
Well, if they don't have a lot of good options to get rid of weed seeds, and I'm not talking about pot and marijuana, I'm talking about nightshade.
Someone got it.
We can't be talking, this is like water hemp, guys. That's a difference. But yeah, it's 3,000 revelations a minute.
Right on.
I appreciate that you were trying so
I was trying.
hard.
I was fishing, but no one was biting, so we got
sorry.
a couple minutes left. Why don't we take a look at that forecast? Need to know what's going on. Some showers on radar. Is there more rain in the forecast, or what's the rest of the week looking like, Dean?
Well, we've got just a little bit of a light shower activity just northwest of the FM area. Some more steadier rain in far northwest Minnesota, pressing into the Lake of the Woods area. Again, over the next hour or so, we'll see a few scattered showers here. They'll be light in the FM area. Not going to really add up to much, but if you just washed your car, guess what? Probably going to get a little dirty. Highs today pretty much where they're at right now in the low 80s, and winds will be switching around to the northwest and increasing, about 15 to 25 and a little gusty. We'll clear things out tonight, dropping off into the 50s, and for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We'll have highs in the 70s, a little breezy in the morning, then winds relax in the afternoon. Then the heat returns for Friday and Saturday with highs on Friday, right around 90. It is going to be windy on Friday. We'll have wind gusts approaching 40 miles an hour. Lighter winds, but still a little breezy on Saturday with highs in the mid-90s. I'd say Saturday, your pick day of the weekend. Sunday, we'll probably have a few more clouds. We're getting some indications from a couple of our models that we could have some scattered showers.
Where's my rain, Dean?
Yeah, we could have some scattered showers on Sunday. Again, don't look for a lot. With highs in the 80s, and then we rebound back into the 90s for early next week. So kind of that roller coaster ride in temperatures. We'll get a couple of hot days, and then we'll cool things down briefly, and then another couple of hot days and cool things down briefly. It looks like this is going to be the pattern for the next few weeks. So summer not totally over. Still have some summer-like temperatures in the forecast, and
right on.
A little bit of rain, not a whole lot. So if you're looking for any widespread rain, I don't see it. Nothing on the horizon like we had last Sunday. That was a good.
I was kind of looking at that as well. It doesn't really. I don't really see any signs of a good wider spread rain until like almost the end of the month, Dean. That's a ways out. That's still another. That's at least 2 weeks from now, so hopefully we can get something in here. At least get a couple handful of minor events with some spotty showers, just so everyone can get a little something.
Exactly.
Be really beneficial. But I think that's about going to wrap it up for Weather and Ag in Focus today.
Are we done already?
Yeah, we're already done. Oh, no, we still have a whole nother... Oh, wait, no, we don't.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Sure does. We'll touch on the components to stop combine fires tomorrow. And what else we got going on tomorrow? Let's see.
Tomorrow, our guest is going to be great. It's Bill Lohman. He is a longtime cowboy poet and storyteller in the region, and he's going to talk about the Home on the Range Champion Ride, which happened here a couple weekends ago out in Grassy Butte, North Dakota, somewhere in that area. And this is a saddle bronc riding event, and I cannot wait to hear the things that Bill has to share.
There you go. Thanks, Bridgette. So lots of fun things on the way. So we'll be back tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next.
AM 970 and FM 93.1, WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.